Lightning in a bottle, I think I just found my perfect sound. Can you see the fire in my eyes? Bitch, it's burning now. Lightning in a bottle, I think I just found my perfect sound. Can you see the fire in my eyes? Bitch, it's burning now.
A moment of silence for our fallen brothers in Florida at Disney World.
Once you go to
All right, moving
Florida,
on.
you don't come back.
We're gonna talk about some fantasy football today. Fantasy football. That's the topic. Fantasy football. Dynasty.
Yeah, we spent too much
fantasy
time.
football.
We spent
That
too
is-
much time talking about Ed.
Yeah, it's way too much time. Honestly, I think we've already taken up most of the time for that. We're gonna have to end it.
Yeah. Well,
Fantasy football. Fantasy. What type of dynasty fantasy football, Brandon?
all of them. 12
All of them.
team, half
All of them.
PPR, standard
12.
league.
Well,
I'm assuming
yeah,
that's what I'd go by for
We're-
these buy sells. Aren't you excited for these buy sells, Alex?
Yeah.
Got some really good names here.
very, very, very excited. Are we hopping into these?
Yeah.
We
Start
hopping
off
into
with the
these first?
big one. You see the Mike Davis's thighs?
I did see the thighs. I'm not really sure how that's helpful to either regular football or fantasy football. I mean, like, I don't know how that helps you play
I'd
running
buy
back.
Mike Davis just for those thighs.
I'm selling. I would trade him immediately if you can. I'm not buying this bullshit that like he's already the starter. We don't like. No, just no. Like he got a bunch of touches on a Carolina team because McCaffrey went down. But like, is that going to happen with Atlanta? When's the last time that's happened with Atlanta? What are the odds that he just sucks again next season? It's not like he was lighting the world on fire the other like 6 previous seasons. So like, why am I buying this now?
Well, I'm making a business decision because reading through these names, I'm kind of like, oh, I'd buy all of these. So I gotta be a little bit more strict with my choosings of who I buy. And between this guy and the next running back, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna buy Mike Davis rather than the next guy. When it's between the two of, well, the
Brandon
next
is
guy's Miles
believing the hype.
Gaskin. The next guy is Miles Gaskin.
Sell.
I would
You
sell
should have
Gaskin.
sold him right after the NFL draft, where they didn't draft the running back, and everyone's like, "Who needs Gaskin's guaranteed to be the starter?"
However,
He's not.
I do think both of these guys have value this year, and strictly
trade.
this year.
Trade.
I think Gaskin may have
Trade.
value moving forward after this year, but not nearly as much as like what he
Trade him
will
right now.
or
Go
last
into your
year.
league chat, post that picture of Mike Davis, and trade him as well. And that's just it. That's what you should do. That's just what you should do.
The only reason why I'm buying Mike Davis is because last year Todd Gurley got the workload, and he was a legitimate, fantasy threat. And then, Todd Gurley being baby knees, he lost that ability. So Mike Davis doesn't have these baby knees. So he won't necessarily lose all of that ability as much as Todd Gurley did.
Are they going to give him as many touches as they gave Gurley early on?
I think so. Who else is there? Come on. They got rid of all their projects.
Their pass catchers are who are there. They don't need these shitty-ass running backs. Tired of this Mike Davis is some elite back or even a good one. He's just a guy.
I think he is just a guy.
They're just a guy. Well, you
he's
don't invest
the guy
heavily
in this
into just that. No.
Group of guys.
If it's week 6 and he's starting, then I'll consider him the guy. But right now, it is May, and it is Mike Davis and Myles Gaskin. And if we're talking about those guys as like the clear-cut number ones, that's just stupid if you ask me. So, I like, and if you can't get anything and you're going to hold on to them, I'm not buying this. Like, I got an RB2 here. Bet on it. Count on it. Like, because you don't. You could if you're lucky. But then they could also just get cut or just get benched because, like, they're the Jags. This is what Jags do. Every year there's a few of these guys. Let's move
I
on
guess
to
we
another
covered two of them.
potential jag. Paris Campbell, buying or selling?
This is hard because I have him in one league, and like there'll be times when I'm like, oh, I'll throw a wide receiver in, and I look at Paris Campbell, and I'm like, I'll throw and I look at him for a second, and I'm like, do I want to? Like, I don't know. I want to say I buy him, but at the same time, like, he's had a rough few years of his start of his career, but he could be really good if he stays healthy.
I feel like it depends on the price because I feel like the price has probably fallen a lot, and like
Yeah.
I guess I'd lean towards buy if only because I think the payoff would be potentially a lot greater than whatever it would take for me to get him. But if whoever has him is holding on to him like he's their most prized possession, then that's going to be a no for me, dog.
Yeah.
But I
It's
guess I'd
just
lean buy.
it's rough because the first game of the season last year, didn't he have like? I think he had like 9 targets. It was upwards to like 8 or 9 targets, and he had a pretty solid showing, and then he got hurt. So it's like they were utilizing him as the one, even when T.Y. Hilton was, not washed, well, completely washed clean by that point.
Hopefully Wentz is just broken regardless, so it won't matter because he won't be able to physically throw the ball to Paris Campbell. And he'll try. He'll just throw it 15 yards that way or 12 yards that way, or he'll be back 20 yards that way holding onto the ball, getting sacked. And there's 4 guys running open downfield.
Yeah.
Carson Wentz. All right, next guy. This is my first one that I'm actually happy to talk about. Jerry Jeudy.
Bye.
Rough
I tried buying.
rough rookie season. Not the quarterback upgrade that I think some were hoping for, especially when they passed on Fields, and it's just Fields at 9. But Teddy Bridgewater, seeing him sustain some wide receivers last year. This is a hard buy for me because I still think he's going to be very good. I just think that it took a minute. It's going to take a minute. Like, I don't think he's going to drop every pass that comes his way again next year, and the dude's still got like a very good ability to get open. So I'm not really worried about it.
Yeah, I attempted to make a trade for Jeudy with Ed. Actually, didn't pan out. All the guys I like and should be like a pretty solid value all belong to like someone who just either doesn't do trades well, or is you or Ed.
Yeah, but what are you going to offer to Ed?
At the time, I forget what exactly I offered him. I think a pick and something
I feel
else.
like you have a lot of things that you wouldn't trade for Jeudy, and then you just have a lot of dog shit that no one wants to trade for Jeudy. So, like, you're kind of stuck in the middle.
Building. It's almost built.
We'll see about that. We'll see about that shortly. Anyway, next guy. Buy, sell, Jonnu Smith. Jonnu.
I'm buying.
Hey.
Because right now, everyone's looking down on him, thinking that Hunter Henry's there, Smith is there. It's not going to be friendly, but I don't know. I buy it. I think his value's low as of right now, and who knows? Belichick has produced 2 tight ends before, and I think he still has that under his belt. He'd still be able to do that, and I think Jonnu Smith will be the 1A.
I think he could be, and I guess I trust Belichick to get the most out of his physical abilities. But as long as Newton is starting, I'm not really concerned about anyone in that in a pass catching role there because Newton cannot throw the ball. So if Mac Jones comes in and like proves to be like semi-solid at like throwing the ball downfield, then I'll start probably getting a little more excited about him. Because I think he could be the 1A, but like, will it matter? Maybe. I guess I'm kind of in the middle here. I guess I'd lean buy. considering I feel like his value has slipped a good bit. So, I mean, if I could get it for cheap, I would be very happy about it. But I don't know. I'm not in love with this short term. All right.
Yeah. Johnu is definitely, his value is low as of right now.
Maybe. Probably. Guess it depends who owns him. Not if you're owning him. Next guy. We were going to talk about this way too prematurely, even though it's not done yet. Aaron Rodgers. Where are you at now? Buying or selling?
I'm not gonna buy or sell. Like if I had him, I wouldn't sell. If I don't have him, I'm not gonna buy. Because first off, you don't know where he's gonna go. So if you buy him, he could land up somewhere awful. Or like even if he lands with, does the Broncos? Well, I guess the Broncos would have better weapons than what Green Bay does, but Adams makes up for a lot of it. There's not much depth there, but like Adams is. You get what I'm saying? Like there's Adams and then there's Broncos weapons.
I'd probably take
Adams
the
make up
Broncos
for
weapons over the Broncos. I mean, I'd probably take the Broncos weapons over the Packers, and it gun to my head. I feel like Robert Tonyan was better just because Aaron Rodgers was throwing him the ball, whereas Noah Fant could be like very good. And I still love Judy, and I think Sutton's good. And I think between Patrick and Hamler, they should have a very, very solid wide receiver 3. But I'm buying if I can, because I think the uncertainty lowers the price tag a little bit. And I still think that while we're talking dynasty and he's like a 37-year-old quarterback, that a pissed off Rodgers is a good Rodgers to have, and that he's probably got another couple seasons of like very good play. And like if you're in a league that values quarterbacks, like if you're in a two QB league by chance, I think this could be a potentially sound investment as long as you don't pay through the fucking roof. Should not do that. Should never do that. Don't go full Ed. Ed won't watch this far. He won't see that insult. And if he does,
Probably not.
I apologize, Ed. I didn't mean it.
All right,
next up on the list.
Second guy.
Second
Who
guy.
we hoped to land with Rodgers, Will Fuller.
The 7th guy. You hoped. I didn't want to see that because that's bad news for the world. But yeah, Will Fuller. Hey man, I'm still a football fan, and I do not like Green Bay, so it's bad
You're a
news for me as
football
a
fan,
football
so
fan.
you're not a fan of the Packers.
Yeah, I'm still I'm an Eagles fan, obviously. I'm just saying I'm still a fan of the sport as well as fantasy.
I mean,
And
you
that
should have
means
been hyped.
hating the Packers. No.
So being
If
a
I'm
football
an Eagles fan, Brandon, I don't think you're understanding what I'm saying. I'm saying that I'm a fantasy and a football fan, and as a subcategory of the football fan, I am an Eagles fan, which means I hate the Packers, which means I don't want Will Fuller to go there. But fantasy wasn't enough for me to bother with that. And as for whether I'm buying or selling, I don't fucking know. I'm probably selling because, he's a wide receiver 1 when he's healthy. At least he was with Deshaun Watson. But does Tua suck? That's a question that needs to be answered first because he might suck last year. Very bad. I mean, I wouldn't put it past him to not suck next year, but and then Fuller. I mean, is Fuller going to get suspended again? Is he going to stay healthy? This is last year's the first in 3 or 4 seasons that he's actually played the majority of the season. Do you want to get caught buying that season? But then he could just stay healthy the next 7 seasons, and he looks stupid by passing on him. It's kind of like Brandon Cooks all over again, who is, I should point out, still pretty discounted relative to what his price tag probably should be, considering that he just had a much better season. But
he's had a good year, bounce back year.
Problem is that whereas Cooks has actually gone some time without getting injured again.
Yeah.
Fuller has the 1 season and another suspension or another hamstring tweak or something. That's too scary for me. I'm generally not a big believer in injury prone unless it's a well documented thing like Gurley's knees. But,
yeah.
That's what scares me.
Yeah,
What about
I would.
you buying or selling?
Well, I guess I'm selling because I actually did sell them. So yeah, that's a sell for me.
Solid explanation. I already did it. Not wrong. All right. Moving on. Robbie Anderson back with Sam Darnold. Had a good year last year. Surprisingly, the best receiver there. Is there more to come, or have we reached the ceiling? Right. Say you.
I'm gonna sell because Christian McCaffrey's coming back. You have the unknown with Darnold coming there, so it's like Darnold could be better, I guess. But is he better than what Teddy Bridgewater was? I don't believe too much in Darnold. I think it's interesting to maybe buy Darnold just if you have like bad quarterbacks, but I'm not going to bank on it, especially with a wide receiver. I think that Christian McCaffrey is going to absorb a lot of the targets, and I'm going to sell.
I think I'm a sell as well, although I recognize the potential for him to just keep being like a wide receiver too for the next few seasons. But my problem is I feel like there's also too good a chance that if I buy now, I'm buying at the highest price point like of his career, and that it's just going to be downhill from there, and I don't want to do that. So, yeah, count me out. All right, moving on. Talk about some.
What team we got first? We got
I don't know because I can't see.
Thunderstruck. I guess I'll have to present these teams. Thunderstruck. Let's go through this man's team. So, if anyone who's watching now has watched our draft episode, Mr. Thunderstruck drafted Trevor Lawrence with what, the 7th pick?
106, yeah.
106. And as you can see, he has Patrick Mahomes. Not sure why. Maybe it was a slip on his end because later on in the group chat, he said something about ETN not being there. And we were like, he was there. So in his defense, he was working, but gotta be careful with those
Doesn't
decisions.
mean that he can't read. Can they see?
Yeah.
All right, good. That's fine. So I don't, but I have a cell phone, so that's fine. I can. Yeah. One also notable decision was a nice little three-way trade we had that.
Oh yes.
Where he inevitably traded his own first-round pick for Chuba Hubbard, which probably not.
Because he was drafted.
Probably not good for anybody involved. Probably not good for perception of our league. But you know what, man? Stupid people gonna stupid people. This happens.
That's disappointing. The computer doesn't show like trade history.
It's probably for the best.
Yeah.
I think that's
that was the biggest oops. Not sure why. He was the champ. He gave it all away.
Yeah, not anymore.
He does have a good bit of draft capital for next season. Although pretty much all of these picks are going to be, I would say, mid to high picks.
I'm just trading for backups anyway. It's fine.
When he had his own pick, which, I mean, make your own opinion on the team. Do you think he's a top team? Do you think he's
Chase
a tank
Edmonds,
and save your pick?
Or David Johnson, or maybe Mike Davis.
Maybe
Mike Davis. All right, that's enough of those teams. Boring. What else we got?
I'm gonna go to Austin's team now. All right.
Not really
Austin has made some improvements since the draft. After he ghosted, and then we reached out to him a lot to what's that look for? He vanished.
He traded DK Metcalf for Nick Chubb. I don't see that as an improvement.
Oh, I can't look up the damn trade. Oh. I forget what exactly.
I'll tell you what it was. It was a big one. He traded Odell, Edmonds, Metcalf, Harry, Gaskin, and a third. And I'll be honest, I don't really care about anything there other than Odell.
Odell.
Other than Metcalf. But he traded all that for Devontae Parker, Tyler Boyd, Evan Ingram, DJ Chark, Nick Chubb. I get it. Some of those receivers could be useful. Chubb is a good running back. Metcalf, and I don't see the freaking point. That's just me.
Well, with that trade, I feel like he evened out his team.
That's not really necessary, though.
He's got Mike Davis.
Where's your players?
Mike Davis.
No, he doesn't.
He's got Mike Williams still as his flex. Let's see what other. He's got Boyd, Parker. Tom Patrick was solid.
Traded Mike Evans, Mike Davis, and James Washington for David Montgomery, which could work out for him if Montgomery continues to produce, and it could not work out if he doesn't. So, we'll see about that.
He's got Tony. If Tony pops off, his team's solid, and he has Will Fuller. His team, I think his team has made solid improvements, give or take. Trading away DK Metcalf, I think overall he's evened out his team and has made probably let's see his picks. None. Oh, well,
on this year. Third next year.
He's got some young players. He's got a lot of young players, actually. On his bench, he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
he pretty much just he's snapping up all that
6, 7, 8. It
was a good move.
Lord. 9, 10, 11, 12. He has a whole round of rookies on his team. So I guess next year's draft doesn't really – just better hope half of those guys pop off.
I was going to say, most all of them suck. Although they do.
Move on to Loki's crew. So I think his team – personally, I think his team has improved one of the most improved up until this point in this offseason. I forget what exactly. He's added Diggs. He's added Ridley. He has Hawkinson. He's had Hawkinson. So he's got the wide receivers. I believe he's got – what else does he have? Slayton.
Bench is a little thin, but
his bench is thin, but coming from me, and my bench is probably looking just as thin. I gotta say, him and my team look very similar as of right now, in my opinion. He probably has better wide receivers, especially after adding Diggs.
I
think Gaskin, I didn't mind that move for him. Say the trade exactly was for Gaskin, not for Gaskin.
I didn't hate it. It was he traded DJ Moore, Joe Mixon, third in 2024, a second this year for a better second this year, a first and a second in 2024, as well as Diggs and Gaskin. Diggs is Diggs. So no, I approve of that.
He improved his wide receiver. And he got a running back who, in my opinion, will have at least this year or half a year of production. And then he's got Javonte Williams coming off of his bench. So once Gaskin expires, if he does next year, he's going to have him to step up.
That is the idea.
That was why I personally liked the trade, and I also like the Diggs, getting Diggs. And, Mixon, he hasn't had a healthy season in a while.
All right.
Cam's team, fellow better on first choice betting.
I think Cam has had
a
better offseason.
Had a solid offseason. He added Saquon Barkley for me.
Was able to pick up Barkley for Josh Jacobs and Terry McLaurin.
Yep. I wanted to speaking of evening out teams, I wanted to add another receiving threat while also adding a solid running back, which I did. I consider Josh Jacobs as being a solid running back. And I think Terry McLaurin is one of the best wide receivers in the NFL.
I think he's good. I don't know if he's quite going to be that top tier yet, or ever, given the fact that Washington and their quarterbacks. But I mean, I like him. Yeah, Cam. Cam just recently trade Cam to Cortland Sutton for basically 4 second-round picks. So that's something that happened.
Yeah. All around, Cam's team, pretty impressive.
He's come a long way in the offseason.
Yeah. Now moving on to 2021-2022 FF Champ.
The worst team in the league.
I honestly think at this point he might be the second worst team in the league.
To Bob's team?
Yeah.
That's probably true. Second worst team in the league.
Yeah.
Dalvin
got
Cook.
Tannehill and Cook.
Good asset.
James Robinson, however you
much
want to
better
view
asset
him.
2 months ago.
Yeah.
Traded for James Robinson after the draft.
Yeah. And
Jarvis Landry, wide receiver 1. That's pretty much all that needs to be said about that.
John Brown.
They bench standouts include Zach Pascal, Leonard Fournette, Alexander Madison, Devontae Freeman.
Freeman on a team
on the Bills practice squad, I guess, at the end of the year. Yeah, 4 months ago, Bills practice squad. Yeah, so yeah, I mean that's.
Now watch Fulgham
draft
have a breakout season.
He's going to need a
Adam
lot of
Humphries pops off.
Yeah.
I would say Dalvin Cook gets injured, but he has Dalvin Cook, but Alexander Madison pops off. He turns into like a slot receiver. Dalvin Cook and Alexander Madison, just a lead duo.
No. In fact, I think we can move on from here before you say something else stupid. What's next? What do we got next?
Ooh, Ed's team.
Ed's team. The rocket ship.
All right. By the end of this offseason, I will have Cam Akers. That is just a given. It will happen eventually. Ed's team isn't looking as bad as it once did.
A lot of young guys.
Yeah.
Still don't think he's got enough to really do anything this season. Still expecting a bottom 5 team, barring any serious moves, honestly.
If it reminds me of anything, his team reminds me of my team last season. Coming in, I had a ton of rookies, a lot of
What did you end up finishing? Like 4th? I mean, like 4th to last?
I think I was like 4th to last, yeah.
I believe you were, yeah, because I had your pick. I'm pretty sure it was. So you finished. Yeah, that's about what I'm expecting out of Ed. Although instead of you having Judy and Land, Ed now has them in their second season. So I'm expecting them to be better. But I don't think those were your wide receivers 1 and 2. So that should even.
Yeah, I think Chark. I had Chark and someone else. Pretty sure. I was coming into the season feeling pretty good, but.
And I was trying to pop your bubble the entire time. And you didn't allow me to, but I didn't even have to.
They did that all by themselves.
Your team eventually did.
I overestimated the value of having rookies, or overestimated their immediate impact. Like Lamb and Judy didn't really. I had expectations that no one should have for their rookies coming in. And sometimes, you catch yourself a Saquon. You never know.
Or a Justin Jefferson last year.
Or a Justin Jefferson, who fell, to the last pick of the draft. Pick 9. Yeah. So, Going
know
on
that.
to RDSKN 123.
So,
They have the bench
okay,
and
so
as
put
their
his
starters.
bench. I was like, where the hell did DeAndre Hopkins go?
Got
like
Kittle as a tight end, Marquise Brown. I'm actually kind of high on Lindsey. I honestly could see him winning carries.
Some carries, but I don't think it's going to be enough to matter.
I mean, I don't know.
Hey, he's
David
got Elliott
Johnson's
and
older.
Jones. Jones should be solid for the next few years. I think Elliott's time is coming very quickly, but I don't think it's there yet in terms of fantasy. I think he'll still get some play.
Yeah.
Woods, Hopkins, Allen, pretty damn solid starting receivers here, guys. Still got Rondale Moore, which a lot of people are excited about.
Pat Fearmore.
Picks are they traded his first roster. I didn't even know that.
Yeah. Solid team.
Solid.
Bench falls
it
off
exists.
slightly.
Just another I think an NFL team comparison. It's like the Titans. Solid. Might make playoffs. Probably going to lose early.
The Kings crew. Got Burrow, Mixon combo, Derrick Henry, DK Metcalf.
Seasons always.
Both the Tampa Bay boys. Mark Andrews, who I would sell if I were him.
I'd probably try. Best bench
At
players.
least see what he can get.
Best bench players, probably Odell.
Yeah.
Probably not a good thing.
He is awfully high for Odell Beckham. I tried explaining to him why no fantasy fan should be high on Odell. It's because he hasn't had, the type of season you'd expect for years. But then again,
post 2016 Odell is just a different player.
I suggested he transfers those expectations onto Brashad Perriman because then it kind of counterreacts. Because once Brashad pops off, no one's going to be able to get him. I'm telling you the truth. Brashad's going to be a solid.
I feel like we just had this conversation a year ago. Actually, I'm getting some strong deja vu.
Yeah, we did.
I feel like we were just talking about this a year ago about Perriman's. This is his year. He's going to do good this season.
Yeah. Who?
Oh, wide receiver 78. Oh.
I honestly, wait. Give me a second. Where?
Yeah.
Where was Perriman last year?
78. Oh, yeah. I know. The Jets.
Oh, okay. That's my argument. He was on the Jets.
Now he's on the Lions.
Yeah.
Wow. He's off the greener pastures over in fucking Detroit. Detroit doesn't even have grass.
Yeah, but they don't have any receivers except him and Amon-Ra.
The Jets don't have any receivers besides him and Denzel Mims and Jamison Crowder. He's guaranteed to get targets. He was good last year. He's guaranteed to be good. It's guaranteed.
Goff is better than what they had. Moving on.
Is he though? Let's put Jared Goff on the Jets with Braxton Berrios as his number one receiver and see if he does better than Darnold. Because I've seen Goff play like Darnold in fucking LA with Sean McVay and good players. Let's see how he plays in a shithole. Do not get rid of get out.
Moving on to my team.
Worst team in the league.
Whoa. Got my man Josh Allen. Just picked him up.
Good starting lineup.
J.K. Dobbins, Josh Jacobs, Hill, McLaurin, Devontae Smith, Kylan Granson.
Kyle Pitts is the real name to mention in tight end.
Oh no, I'm setting him all year.
I mean, more power to you.
I'm right. No, I'm waiting.
I hope so.
I'm letting him learn behind I'm letting him
Behind-
learn behind Kyle and Chris.
behind a guy that might actually be younger than him. Not actually sure.
T. Higgins, Chenault. If Chenault turns into what I hope he does, then I am really excited.
He got a solid group of receivers.
Like, Chenault is. I know Ed was saying this a while back, and I hopped on that train with him.
I'll believe it when I
I
see it.
am excited for it.
Although it sounds like Urban Meyer wants to use ETN as his plaything.
Nah.
That's what it
Chenault
seems
just turned into a
like.
freaking killer.
It seems like he's gonna have to kill ETN.
Yeah,
Which,
and that comes to my bench. Got Latavius Murray. Picked him off the free agency. You know,
Shut up. RB
Devontae
34.
Booker. He's backing up Barkley. Never know. Ahmed, like you've been saying this whole time, Gaskin. He's not
I don't
guaranteed.
think Ahmed is the answer.
I don't think it's well. Then Jared Dokes is the answer. That's what you're saying. Who else is the answer?
Anybody. It's a running back. You can find a running back in like week 5.
I don't believe it. I think Dokes or Ahmed
Also,
or Gaskin.
keep in mind that
One
a
of those
team
two.
does not have to produce a fantasy relevant running back.
Oh, they
They
have
could just
to.
not. No,
They're within the contract.
Oh, it's within the Dolphins' contract. They must produce a fantasy relevant running back. Sometimes teams don't do that.
Michael Carter, Kiki Kuti,
Reach.
Reach,
Pick
no.
112.
Need, yes. I did need him. Because as you can see, I only have 2 running backs,
Stretch
really.
those arms out.
So, Michael Carter was a necessary reach. I have Michael Gallup, De'Ami Brown, Jared Cook, Jonnu Smith, Thaddeus Moss, the Bills defense, the Broncos defense, and hella picks, mainly next year, and Alex is frozen. All right, let's see who we got next.
Are we just talking about Michael Carter?
Lexington, up on the board. Deshaun Watson, who may not be playing this season.
Giant question mark.
Giant. Chris Carson. Devin Singletary.
Solid. Not very solid.
I think Chris Carson's in a redraft is one of my most favorite running backs. Redraft. Because his value is low. He's underappreciated. He's been one of the best running backs consistently for the past few years, but has still been underdrafted like almost every season.
Doesn't have a flashy name. Came from nowhere.
Juju, Marvin Jones, Tyler Lockett, Travis Kelce, Miles Sanders,
Miles Sanders.
Sammy
Wired.
Watkins. Well, that is questionable. All right. Well, his bench.
Not the finest of benches. There's some dudes there, and then there's some dudes.
I mean, my favorite from his bench would be, KJ Hamler, Gabriel Davis.
I like the idea of Tylan Wallace.
Yeah,
And he's
so do
inevitably better than Marquise Brown in 2 years, but probably not very helpful this season. Although Travis Kelce will probably just carry him to like a mid-tier team again.
Yeah.
If not a low-end playoff berth, because this is what Travis Kelce does.
True. I guess Tyler Higbee would back him up, so that's not too bad.
The very exciting Tyler Higbee.
Yeah. All
Not
right.
a ton of picks. Gotta go. All right, what else we got?
Who Dat Nation 913. I was discussing a trade with him earlier today.
I am aware of
Heard
this.
back from him for a while.
It's not happening. It's not happening.
Why? Has he discussed it with you?
Yeah.
But wait.
Matt discusses every trade with me.
Okay. What about this most recent trade?
You mean Jacobs and a first in 2023 for Thielen, Gibson and a 2024 first. Yeah, that's a hard pass. For
He
Gibson,
hasn't even
Thielen,
declined.
he's not taking it. I know he's not.
All right.
Unless
Yeah.
he accidentally hits yes.
Well, I was planning on negotiating a little bit with him. I have some wiggle room, or a lot of wiggle room. It's just that Matt is a very
Interesting trader.
strategical trader. So, like,
Not strategical. Matt just doesn't understand trading. It's like trying to teach a dog math. He just doesn't fully get it. Like it's just not there.
I was chatting with him, and I said something about Thielen being, on his back half of his career. He's got like maybe 2 years left.
Now that I disagree with. I think Thielen could be productive for another few seasons. I don't think his game's not built on athleticism at all.
Well, to anyone else, if you try and trade Thielen, his value as what it actually is compared to what you're actually going to get out of him is going to differ, in my opinion. So that's what I was trying to
too terribly high.
I mean, he's
and again, you were also just trying to like steal him from him, so not a very good argument there.
I'll make more offers and steal him. Well, no, I won't do that. I was gonna pull up the trade that I got countered with.
Matt always sends the worst possible trades. I'm well aware of this. Anyone's aware of this.
I want to just share it with you. I'll cancel this out.
What a Matt does. Just we can talk about it after. Move on.
All right, and then
that's just me.
You just wanted to get on to your team.
No, I didn't even realize that. I thought we still had another one, but
so his bench is on a starting lineup.
No, we don't. Sure is. My starting bench, which unfortunately I believe is currently projected as the worst team in the league. Even I don't know how it has Bob's team over. Fuck that shit.
Yeah,
my bench is worse. My bench players are better than his starters. Get the hell out of here, sleeper.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how. Are you really? Yeah. Well, I'll just scroll through your real starting lineup. Gardner Minshew starting the team.
Gardner Minshew, someone I hold near and dear to heart.
DJ Dallas and Gainwell, starting.
Oh, Wilson's still in the lineup. Oh, shit.
Oh, wow, updated.
I meant to put Minshew.
Johnson, Ayuk, Taylor.
Jonathan Taylor hiding down there on the bench.
Solid team. The only thing working against you is your decision making. So, who are you going to start? Is it going to be the right start? That's all.
Yes, it's going to be the right start because there can't be a lot of if you're ever at the point where you have too many players, like, who am I going to start? I think you've won. You might not have won one, but like you won the battle. It's nice to see all of these draft picks finally like start to play out because last year I also was, I guess, hoping for a little bit more out of Taylor and CEH. Maybe not hope. Taylor, I mean, I guess he just never did it when I needed him to.
Yeah, it was.
I didn't really have sky high expectations for Clyde. Honestly, I'm kind of happy with how the season played out. Low end RB2, but like missed some time due to injury and just didn't get the lion's share of touches. But to me, I still see a guy that's like potentially a RB1, RB2-ish player next season. I have no complaints with him.
Yeah.
But now I've got all the rookies, but I don't need them all to produce. It doesn't matter to me if Jamar Chase and Elijah Moore. I don't think any of these three, Najee Harris as well, I don't think any of those three are going to come out flat-footed. I think all of them are probably going to have decent rookie seasons, but I don't need them to. Just great. I'm excited about Trey Lance. I think he'll be fun. I like Gainwell. I like Gainwell more as an Eagles fan, and like that's probably partially bias on my own part, but that's what we do. And Amari Rodgers if Aaron Rodgers comes back, I think has solid potential. Get the picks too. Like, I mean, 4 top
I didn't
14
get that
picks next
part out.
season. I'm gonna kill you all.
Yeah.
Just counting Jamar as a bottom 2 team.
So basically, you have the first top 3 pick in the second round. I would say probably top 2 pick in the first round.
I would say top 3, presumably. I don't think it gets any lower than 5. I just cannot physically see a scenario where that occurs.
Yeah.
Especially with his decision making. And then probably a mid first and a late first. Couple seconds, which could be anywhere. Some picks next. Yeah. Fuck all of you people.
Well,
It's my year.
we'll fight back somehow. The underdogs, they prevail sometimes.
Hopefully, sometime is not next year. But that is that. That is all of the teams. If you didn't want me to go last, you shouldn't have made me go last, you dummy.
I went by the list, the sleeper list. That was not a
Sleeper
decision
was setting
on
you up
mine.
to fail. Good day. All right, I think that's it. That's everything.
That is it.
That's
And
everything.
it is everything. Ed is the closer. We're just not closers.
Yeah, I don't have it in me, Coach. So
Ed's the beginner and the closer.
whatever Ed would say, dislike, unsubscribe, do not share.
No, that was right.
Yeah, I thought
That was right.
Right. Second choice fantasy.
And we're
Yeah.
out. Later, everyone.
Literally.